I'm Dr. Ashley,
I'm Sherry.
and this is From Her Point of View. So do you remember in episode 1 of this season, I mentioned that we were going to bring you a little something different this season? Well, this episode is that little something. From Her Point of View is going to bring you his point of view.
And his point of view is open, candid, and honest. It is something that you really are going to be engaged in.
So what we did was we compiled 10 questions. We asked the two participants in this episode to give us a number, and whichever number they gave us, we asked them the question that corresponded to that number. So that's what you're going to hear. So when one answers the question, and then the conversation just goes from there.
And although we provided these questions to them ahead of time, just to review, they were randomly chosen based on the number. So they weren't prepped to answer the question at the time, but they knew kind of what we were going to ask. But even in that, they were so honest.
Right. And the question went, I mean, even if they answered, it kind of went however it needed to go. It was a very organic conversation.
They fed off each other's energy in a way that we didn't expect, but we definitely appreciate.
Right. You'll see. From Her Point of View is bringing you his point of view. All right. Question is number 4. If you could be born again and completely repeat your life, would you?
Can you repeat that?
If you could be born again and completely repeat your life, would you?
Would you, and why? If you could repeat your life all over again, would you, and why would you repeat your life?
Me personally, I don't have any regrets in life. If I could repeat life knowing the knowledge that I have now, I'm like, we would all be millionaires. So I believe that everyone would. That's a personal preference.
It's a good stance.
Good not to have
Millionaire
regrets.
lifestyle.
I mean, you did what you did, you know. What do you think?
Oh, you talking to me now?
Yes.
I personally think, like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I feel like while I do love my life, there are things that could be improved, and that can only be better or improved by me making better decisions when I was younger. Mm-hmm. There's only like literally maybe 2 things I would change, but they would have like a big outcome on my life. I'd have saved a lot of money and a lot of stress, and I'd have a little more hair up here.
Where'd your hair go?
It's still there, sort of, but that's not where it need to be.
So you wouldn't completely repeat your life, but you might do some things a little differently.
Yes, 2 things stick out in my mind. Two big things. I mean, like I said, they're good now, but they could have been good sooner. I could have been in a better position than I am now. Not to say that I'm bad off or anything like that, but my whole family could be like move forward in a big way had I made like literally 2 different decisions in my life.
Okay. So let's elaborate on that a little bit more, right? So we had a podcast where we talked about what would you tell your younger self? Mm-hmm. And if you could tell your younger self some positive advice, what would you tell your younger self to change those things so that you can be better off today?
In truth, I mean, how many sentences do I get to myself? But if I get one solid sentence, so to let's just go with 20-year-old me, I would say, be more patient. Learn to let things come to you instead of looking for them. I'm still not a very patient person. That's why I have a hard time relying on people. But like, I was definitely impatient as a younger man. And it's something I still struggle with and work on, but like, that would have definitely changed a lot of things in life. A little more patience.
That makes me think of the Bible scripture, seek and you shall find. You don't know what you're going to find. So be mindful of what you seek.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, what number do you want? 1 to 10, not 4. 9?
9. Yeah.
What do you value most in a relationship?
Um, Honesty. I actually abhor being lied to, mostly because I feel like 9 out of 10, if I'm asking a question, I already know the answer. So you lying to me is just like, it's disrespectful and it's an insult to my intelligence. And I'm not saying I'm no genius, but I ain't stupid either. Don't play me for a fool. You know what I mean? So I honestly is very big on my. It's probably almost number one, because it's like we can't work nothing out if we can't be honest with each other. We can't tell each other the truth without feelings being hurt every time. I mean, we imperfect, we humans, so something I say or my wife were to say, it has a potential to hurt our feelings, especially if we're not ready for that truth.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to be honest with each other if you're ever gonna make it to be anywhere, to get anywhere. You can't handle conversation without honesty.
And so how do you foster that environment so you can speak freely to each other?
I'm a little more open than I won't say most men, because I don't know most men. I'll say more open than some of my friends are. So if I have like an issue that ain't gonna let me sleep or it's gonna bother me, I'm gonna say something about it. Now I ain't the yelling type. The way I'm talking to you, maybe with my hands involved is how I would talk to my wife, but pretty much it's the same thing. Like I don't hide nothing from her. If I'm feeling some type of way, she know. Plus, I'm the type of person, everything I feel is on my face anyway. So even if I wanted to hide it, she could look at me and know. But I just try to be. I don't let stuff build up. If I let it build up, it turn bad.
Yeah. And so you build a space where it's safe for her to do the same thing.
She can say whatever she wants, whenever she wants. She you know what I mean? Like, I don't never want her to hide nothing from me. If anything, I think more honesty is better. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't ever want her to feel like she can't tell me something, or that if she tells me something, she can hurt my feelings, or it's gonna, whatever. I always want to be as honest as possible in a given situation.
Okay. Darnell, what do you value most in a relationship?
I might have to go with him and say honesty on that one, just for the fact that I live a poly lifestyle, which is a lot different than a lot of other people, where I'm able to have multiple partners or multiple spouses, and we look at one as a family. So with that being said, there are no secrets. You have to be completely honest. You have to put everything on the table so no one's feelings get hurt in the middle.
Yeah, it seems like honesty would be really important in a situation. I mean, it's already important on a one-on-one basis, but when you have other people involved, it seems like it would be really important.
Yeah, very much so. Like, perfect example, like you can't take one out and say, hey, I'm out with the guys. Meanwhile, you're out with one. Then the other finds out. Like, it honesty is the stem of our relationship.
So how do you, I mean, I guess everybody has an understanding. How do you create that safe space for your multiple partners to be honest? Or you come into it knowing that that's on the table. That's what it's going to be.
Correct. I'm like, you come in completely knowing. A lot of times I'm not even the one to initiate looking for another partner. It's actually a lot of times the woman that looks for the other partner, because I feel that they need to be more compatible and they need to have that understanding on the table before I even really jump in. Because if they can gain that bond, it makes it so much easier when the male comes into play.
So that seems pretty unanimous.
Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective right there.
Honesty is important.
So do you find that with honesty for both Khris and Darnell, Khris, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you find, so you said that you ask questions because you already know the answer. Have
Mm-hmm.
there been instances for both of you where you assume you know the answer, but you ask the question anyway, and it's something totally different? And if
Yeah.
so, how do you handle that?
I mean, in truth, it's like, depending on the answer, it could be a relief, or like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, I look at like I'm losing the word I want to use, but like any issue that me and my wife has is like it's not always an opportunity to grow because I'm still a man built on ego and pride and all the other kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna grow every time we have an issue. But I try. I'll say that. That's the best I can do sometimes is try to look at things and the opportunity to grow. So if I think I know the answer and I'm wrong, like, okay, well, wow, one,
So you're
two,
optimistic.
like, depending on the answer, I mean, it could be terrible depending on what the answer.
But I feel like when you're not sure of the answer, you go into a situation optimistic, hoping that it could be glass half full, glass half empty. Like it could be really, really bad, or it could be exactly what you thought.
Well, I'll say this. For me personally, I am not the most optimistic person. And I'm not saying that I see the world as all doom and gloom, but I'm more of, I'm expect the worst 9 times out of 10 and hope for the best because I always have that backup plan. Like if anybody knows anything about me, I'm playing on playing on playing. If everything else fail, I still got a plan. And now maybe that plan will fail, but I'll figure out another plan while that plan is failing. So for me, it's kind of like I don't like to be optimistic in that way because I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure, and it's happened to me too many times. And maybe it's a cycle I need to break in truth because my wife she deserves that, I should say. I mean, she's everything that I've ever needed in a person, whether I realize it or not. So I feel like she deserves that better me. And I think that's part of that better me that's developing or trying to at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a little bit of time before I get to that perfect me. So, I mean, I can still mess up between here and there.
Okay. Darnell, do you go into relationships asking questions because you know the answer or because you really want to figure out what's going on?
No, normally I go in because I want to know what's going on. Again, with me having that trust and the relationships that I've been in, I try to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask what I don't know. I'm not one who would be like, oh, I think I know she did this. Let me ask her about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to come out and say, all right, well, I don't know this. Like, what's going on?
So do you feel like your partners mimic your honesty because you both go into it knowing that honesty is the best policy? So you're going to be very open and candid about what it is that you want to know. Do you feel like they reciprocate that back to you? Because
Honestly, I do.
And I say that because women are very hesitant about what they can say to a man, right? There have been instances where, you know, let's just say past situations, current situations, you don't really know how to play the game with the person. And it's not a game, but you just don't know how to play it. So you kind of feed off of what they're giving you. And sometimes your honesty may be way too much for us to handle. And so we're still kind of hesitant in responding to you. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
For me personally, I believe it's a good thing. I know for most males, it would probably be a bad thing. I'm like in my particular situation, like you have another woman you can go talk to. So everything's not always talked about with the three of us. There may be girl talk. I'm like, that's technically like your girlfriend as well. So sometimes you may feel more comfortable going and talking to her about something than coming to talk to me about it.
Okay.
And I'll say that I do want to clarify one thing. Like I certain things past wise, when I asked a question and that I already knew the answer to, I'll say half and half it was negative. With my wife, it's more so positive things, but I only know the answer because I've been watching her long enough to know the answer. So sometimes the question isn't for me; it's for her to see what I've already seen. Because
So you're a man that pays attention.
Yeah. Ask my wife how many times if she's ever caught anything surprise wise.
All right, I think we've done well on the values in the relationship with honesty.
So,
honesty is number one.
Okay.
Number one.
Ladies, you hear that? Honesty. Fellas, you hear that? Honesty.
And that
It's
is
needed.
a two-way street, honesty. You be honest, he be honest, and y'all both have to receive it and process it.
Even if you think it's going to hurt.
Right.
I just feel like in
Yeah.
any relationship, whether you think it's not good to tell, you should tell. You should say, because holding it in causes more damage than actually saying it out loud.
Darnell, you're up. What number do you want?
I'm gonna have to go with number 8.
Number 8. Oh, number 8 is aligned with the last question we just asked.
Okay.
How important is respect in a relationship? And what does respect look like to you?
Respect goes right along with, for me, honesty, respect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that you can ever really disrespect your partner. If you're disrespecting your partner, you're putting your partner beneath you. I'm like, as a man, I don't want to be disrespected. So I feel that in no way, shape, or form should I disrespect my partner.
I want you to run that back. You can't disrespect your partner?
Shit.
Yeah, like I don't feel that you can disrespect your partner just for the fact that you don't want that disrespect done to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're
So
saying
it's reciprocal.
you shouldn't disrespect your partner.
Correct.
Not that you can't.
It's not that you can't. You shouldn't disrespect your
Right.
partner.
Okay.
Your partner,
All right.
so, or your other half, in my case. So when you're looking at your partner, you should see a form of yourself. So
Okay.
if you feel it, go ahead and disrespect yourself and not really care about what's going on, I'm like, that says a lot about you as a person.
So respect is very important to you in a relationship.
Correct.
Yeah.
And respect is reciprocal. Like you give, but it needs to be given.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
I think that goes across relationships, friendships, parent-child relationships.
Everything. Period.
Platonic or otherwise. Yeah. What do you
Because
think,
if you
Khris?
can't respect the person, they shouldn't be in your life if they can't respect you. And if you find yourself not being able to respect the person, you shouldn't be around them.
I say, like, that's 100% right, because you should see yourself in your partner. I'm like, when you guys join, you should be one. So if you're disrespecting your partner, you're disrespecting yourself.
What do you think, Khris?
I know why you laughing, actually.
Hey.
Respect is really important, but like, to me, I feel like, whether you believe in the Bible or not, the Bible tells you how men and women are built from the gate. It tells women to keep on respecting, to have deep respect for their husbands, and it tells men to keep on loving their wives. So men are built off of respect. That's how we built. And women are built off of love. And there's nothing, not that the two don't intersect, but there's a hierarchy on how, like your love languages. Everybody's love language ain't the same, but it's the same thing for men and women. So, yeah, respect for men is more important than love even sometimes. Because love can take you places respect can't, and respect can take you places love can't. But they're still together, if that makes sense to you. I don't think you can love your wife if you don't respect her. And I think the same isn't true vice versa.
You can love your husband without respecting him. Or your partner. Absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
Believe that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But as a man, I'm just speaking from my point. I'll put it like this. I won't say as a man. I'll say for me. I don't feel like I would put it. All right, then I'm gonna change it all together. I don't feel like I would be properly loving my wife if I did not respect her. Yeah. She, you know what I mean? She deserves more than just love. She did the whole gambit, the respect, the protection, all of that. So I don't think I would be doing her a disservice if I didn't give her all of it.
Yeah.
So just want to jump in here real quick, because we did this whole pre-question thing. So we talked about respect, and what does it look like? Is respect the approach as to how you speak to her? Is it how you respond to her in front of the public? Is it how you act with her with your children around? Like, what does respect look like? Because we can say a person loves you, but when they respect you, how do you know this is true?
I think it's all encompassing. I don't think it's one of those things. I think it's all of those things. Um, I think my daughter is the only one that's ever seen me and my wife disagree, and that was one time. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, and that is like forever etched in her brain, even though it was one time, and she can never pick. I can honestly say she can talk to her and honestly say, "Have you ever seen me yell at Mimi? No. Do you see me curse at Mimi? No. Do you see me do this? Do you see me that? No, no, no. Uh, not just in front of the kids, out in public. Most conversations ain't for the public or for Facebook or for whatever social medias or anything like that. Most conversations, at least for me, I'll say, for me and my wife, is behind closed doors. If there's a conversation that we need to have, then the kids got to either go in another room or they got to go to bed for it, whatever needs to happen. But I'm not going to sit there and start a conversation that may have tension in it in front of the kids. I don't yell at my wife. That's not really me as a person, but it's something that I had to work on as a younger man, is controlling my volume. But I don't yell at my wife. That ain't one, at least for my wife, that ain't the way to get across to her. And she don't yell at me. It ain't, we call it the Geneva Convention, but it's just certain things you just don't say out your mouth. Certain games we don't play, certain jokes we don't make, because we know the other person enough to know that that's gonna cause some tension, that's gonna cause a problem, that's gonna be hurtful, whatever. But it's just certain ways that we don't go about addressing or dealing with each other, regardless of what the issue is.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we thoroughly.
Darnell, anything to add to that?
Honestly, he really hit the nail on the head. The one thing I'll actually add to that is, even behind closed doors, like, you speak to her the same way you would speak to her in public.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that it's okay for a lot of people feel like, all right, well, I've seen this multiple times where guys will be like, oh, wait till we get home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to wait till you get home, but in the same sense, the same way you treat her in public should be the same way you treat her in private.
Mm-hmm. So if you a nasty little freaking pirate, nah, but no, he right. He 100% right.
So public and private reactions will actually show you if this person respects you. If a person treats you nice in public but disrespects you in private, that's not respect.
But
like,
my
if
thing
they're
is,
not.
all right, so let me say this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
but
good. Go ahead.
To me, it's like, if you disrespecting this person in private, you still don't respect them just because it wasn't in front of people. You're
But
still doing
some
it to their face.
some people
the
will
same way you talk.
misconstrue that. And they'll
Yeah.
say, well, he treats me good in front of my family. He treats me good in front of my friends. But behind closed doors, he ain't right.
I'll add this one thing. The way he treats you in private, the way he treats you in public, and the way he talk about you behind your back should all be the same. If anything is different or anything varies, you got a problem on your hands. And not to say you need to go through your man's phone and looking, because you don't need to do that. You would cause an issue. But y'all nosy, so sometimes y'all do see. But if it's the same, you like, yo, this dude really love me. He really cares. He really respect me. You know what I mean? Like, it's been plenty of time. My wife, you know what I mean? And everybody's not this comfortable, but I don't care, because I've been through enough where it just don't bother me, and I'm just that open of a person. But my wife, anything that she need a code to, she either got a face or she knows. So it ain't never an issue where she got to ask for nothing. You know what I mean? So there's plenty of times where I leave my phone open. She's like, what? Y'all silly. Like, just being newsy, not even like, looking for something. It's because it's open, because it's there. So it ain't no change in how I really deal with her. And anything that I might want to say negative, I'm not saying I'm not saying to people either, because I try to look at it like she could be thinking the same stuff. So maybe I need to readjust my thinking on certain things. I need to be better on certain things. My wife, you know what I mean? Like, not for nothing, man. I keep saying I can't ask for a better person, because a lot of women wouldn't have stepped into her shoes and did what she did for me. You know what I mean? And by that, I mean loving my children that weren't hers the way she loves our son. When we go out, Everybody just think the older ones look like me and the younger one look like her. Don't nobody know the difference. You know what I mean? Even with the little nicknames and the playfulness, don't nobody know. I mean, and a lot of women, I won't say a lot, many or a good amount of women are not like that. Or people, let's say that. Some people have a hard time loving children that aren't theirs. And you could never tell. Like I've been through a relationship where that was an issue. And to see somebody just come in and wholeheartedly love my children, even before me, I don't know, it made me garner a certain level of respect for her that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
And that was a demonstration of respect in itself to embrace
Mm-hmm.
your children like that. And as you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, men, they need that respect. And for her to embrace
Mm-hmm.
your children, like, you're right, there are a lot of women that would not do that.
Been there.
That that respect was definitely demonstrated there. We fully covered respect.
We fully covered respect. Thank y'all. Okay, so on to the next question. Khris, you're up. Darnell, you still with us?
I am.
The crown ain't kicking yet.
Jack, but no, we're good.
Jack. Oh, you drinking Jack? My bad. My bad.
Khris, what number you want?
2.
Okay.
I do 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
1.
No, 2 is fine. Whatever
Okay,
number
2.
you like. What do you like?
All right, 2.
All right. What quality is most attractive to you in a partner?
Genuineness. Like
genuine, honest, respect. All right now.
Like no, like even like just what you see is what you get. I don't have to like. Not that everybody doesn't have like their layers of their onion, you know, to peel back to get to the deeper person. But it's not like I'm gonna peel back something. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know this person. That's not who I fell in love with, or I can't love this person. Like I'm always gonna be me. Monday through Friday. I don't have a lot of moods. Actually, you've known me a long time. I'm silly, I'm sleepy, I'm happy, and I'm hungry. That's pretty much my baseline. So like a lot of different like layers to the point where it's like I don't even know who you are anymore. It kind of drives me crazy because it's like I don't know how to be with you. I don't want to have to put on like a different personality every day to deal with your personality. I got 4 kids. Got enough personalities to deal with. Huh?
Oh, the shade. You said you don't want to have to put on a different personality to deal with you. Sheesh. What type
I'm just
of
being honest. Like I don't want like put like this. If we
That's
gotta
like
argue,
the shady, honest truth though, because women be nuts for real.
like
I ain't even gonna hold you.
I don't want to get into a disagreement on Monday and then we got to do the solid treatment Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday you back to yourself, and then Saturday you. I don't know. Like, all right, look, we got the issue. Let's squash it and keep it moving. Like all the different. I'm not saying people don't go through things. I'm not saying people don't have issues or different mood swings based on things, but just to be having them just cause drives me crazy. I can't speak for everybody. If you're going through something, you're depressed or you're super happy, whatever it is, if you have reasons to be the way you are, then I can understand it. But people just changing on a dime all the time, I'm not saying that we don't, because we do. We wake up off. You wake up just not feeling yourself or the day or whatever it is. You want to quit your job on Monday, but everybody want to quit their job on Monday, so that's okay. You know what I mean? And I want to quit my job Monday through Saturday. So, I mean, I'm cool with that, but just always different is what drives me crazy.
Okay.
What say you, Darnell?
Honestly, he hit the nail on the head.
Khris coming through over here.
He hit the nail on the head so bad that I have nothing to add to it.
In essence, what you're saying is you want us to be real. Show you who
Correct.
we are. Don't have to peel the layers back. This is what you get. What you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Sherry's known me all my life, and I don't change for anyone. What you see is what you get. I'm the happy, I'm the goofy. If I'm upset,
you know,
there's definitely a reason that I'm upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, oh, I woke up not feeling today. It's literally, I'm exactly who I am every day, regardless whether I'm sitting back with the guys having a cigar, whether I'm at the bar drinking, whether I'm playing with the family, whether I'm sitting at home by myself and just relaxing. Like, I'm the same person every day. You don't have to sit there and guess, like, oh, I wonder what's wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
If there's really something behind, it's going to come out.
I think men are like more simple creatures than women give credit for, and sometimes that bothers y'all because y'all think to y'all overthink it. Because I am a chronic overthinker, but y'all think to yourselves, it can't be that simple. It has to be more than this. It's like, no, I just want to watch TV. That's all. I'm really into this show or this game, or I'm hungry, or I'm sleepy, or I'm nothing. I'm thinking about literally nothing. For me, I'm always thinking about my family. I'll sit on the floor, literally like a little kid, with a pen and paper and just do bills for the next 6 months. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're straight. Oh, we can do this or we can do that. Sometimes I get on my wife nerves, sometimes I don't, but she don't never, it ain't no guessing. She knows what's on my mind. I might talk to her too much like I'm doing now.
No, you're good.
That's not too much. I mean, if you're telling her what's going on, then she doesn't have to guess. Then she doesn't have to think, oh, well, what is he thinking? Or what does he really mean? Or anything like that. I mean, it's out there. You're sitting there writing it down.
But I think a lot of women are left in the desert because men don't communicate. And then we're left to overthink, what is he thinking? What is he feeling? How is this working out? If more men like you two would come to the forefront and be honest about where they are, women wouldn't have to go off the deep end on certain situations because we would know that this is what it is.
But I feel like that come with time, that come with experience, and everybody's shaped by their experiences. So I've had relationships where that didn't work out for me. Where me telling you, not you, but telling her everything was like, just don't tell me, just do it. Okay, but then when I just do it, why you ain't tell me? And it was like a no-win scenario. So some men are like, you know what? I don't know what to do. So they do nothing. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying I understand. Because you get to a point where it's like, I don't know what to do. So I'm just do what I do, and she'll figure it out along the way. And if she wants to know, she'll ask. And if she don't, she won't. I'm always been a person that if you're going to truly build with somebody, whoever that is, y'all got to be on the same page. And if y'all can't be, or y'all can't talk like that, y'all probably shouldn't be together. As hard as that may be, regardless if you got kids or homes or whatever, if y'all truly can't talk, y'all not going to go nowhere.
That also comes into play where a lot of men, and I've said this as well, where they're afraid of the woman's reaction. Mm-hmm. And again, if you're afraid of the woman's reaction, either it was something that shouldn't have been done, or you guys really don't talk enough to be able to communicate. I'm like, I was raised by my grandmother for the most part, where when you walked in the house and you did something wrong, you were better off telling her what it was and just flat out saying it. You were going to get beat regardless. The issue is, how bad you want to get beat? Do you want that simple form that says you came and told me what's going on? Or do you want me to sit back, the neighbor already told me, and just see if you actually tell me what's going on? Mm-hmm. But again, that comes right back to just being honest.
And it all threads together. We got honesty, respect, being genuine.
I think some people are afraid to reveal themselves because they feel inadequate in some way, that if they reveal who they truly are, they won't be enough to be loved. And again, men are simple creatures. We don't need a whole lot. You know, our list of things, I'm not going to say it isn't extensive, but it is not as long as what I'm seeing these days from some women. Like, the list I be seeing is just like, bro, you don't even bring all that to the table, but you want somebody to bring that for you. And I'm not saying as men, we don't bring certain specific things to the table versus women and vice versa. But like, just certain stuff I just be looking at like, man, y'all, some people just really be talking out their butt because they want to look good versus, you know what I mean, having it together like they think they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to elaborate on his a little bit because my list is very, very simple. I want honesty, love, respect. As far as things that I want you to do, I want you to make sure that the house is clean. Now, the reason why I say that is because normally I'm working 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Sort the house is together, make sure I don't have to go out and find food. And then, you know, we do adult things later on in the evening. I wake up and do the work thing again. My list is very, very simple.
I mean, It sounds very simple. Yeah.
But some people find it
But
very hard.
I was about to say a lot of people find that very hard. Now, I'm not going to say a name, but I actually hired a housekeeping service to come over and clean my house like once every 2 weeks just to take some of the workload off of her because I didn't want it to be like, oh, well, you always complain about your cleaning the house and you're never doing it. I'm not physically home enough to do it, but I brought someone else in to try to make this work, and that still wasn't enough.
I try to hit it like slightly different and not for a different reason. I'll say that. Like, so because of COVID and all that, like I'm the only one working and I work in the medical field. So I do okay enough for the family of 6 to survive just off of me. Cool. But I understand that 4 children is a lot. And I'm not like a part-time dad with the children that come from my previous situation. My boys are with me half time. So Wednesday to Sunday of every other week, and then every Wednesday, every Thursday, and then Wednesday to Sunday of every other week, if that makes sense. So it's always 8 and 14, and then my daughter's with me full time. I have full custody of my daughter, but that's a lot, man. It's a lot with the schedules. It's a lot with the house, the line. It's a lot. So I find myself like, even with my work schedule and even with my illness, because I have Crohn's disease. So the number one like thing that comes along with that is fatigue. So I could sleep for 12 hours and wake up tired. And that ain't like a lazy thing. That's just my body trying to kill me thing. Mm-hmm. So, but I find myself asking her, what can I do to help? And if she tell me nothing, I still try to figure out something to do to help. Don't mean I always figure it out. But if you tell me something, I truly do try to work on that. Just because I do know it is a lot with all their schedules, and then her being home with the youngest one, who is, oh my God, the neediest baby that I've ever been around in my life. This nigga follows her around like she's the lost puppy. It's terrible, but I get it. Like, it's a lot, and her trying to go back to school in the meantime, in between time while she's home. I try to help her out as much as I can because she already does so much, whether she realizes it or not. Sometimes, because sometimes she comes from a household where you always have to be doing something, and I'm always telling her, yo, like, it's okay. We all together right now. Just chill. Or leave it for me. I'll take care of it. No. Let me do it. I'll do it, and you go about your business. Go. The kids want to spend time with you too, not just me. So she does a lot. So I can't say that I have any complaints household-wise, anything like that, to be honest.
I think different situations warrant different responses. Mm-hmm. So with you have a whole wife and a mm-hmm. whole family. So the responsibility on your wife is going to be heavier mm-hmm. because she's in the home.
Yeah.
So she provides the household needs and the care for the children, whereas though you provide the financial standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. For Darnel, he's kind of like, okay, we don't have the whole kid thing together. We're not married, but I'm financially providing. And then you have to question, well, what are you doing? Because if I'm doing everything and you're just here, what are you doing?
You're here for it. Yeah, what are you here for?
Exactly. So what are you bringing to the table? And his, perspective. So I can really understand it from both sides. I think it really depends on the relationship that you're in and how you maintain that responsibility for both partners.
Mm-hmm. And it also comes from how you started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because from my experience, being 15 years in, you were children when you got together. So you may not have necessarily been on the same trajectory and everything, but you still have to somehow come to that common ground and say, I'm going to take care of this because I know that you're taking care of this. You still have to come to that common ground.
Now, the one thing I've noticed about the whole common ground, your situation is very, very different because you've been in so long. A lot, and this is what I've seen.
As years, hard labor.
This is what I've seen as far as dating. And I'm not going to say it's just women, but when women find a strong man, the one that they've actually been looking for, the provider, the one who loves her and holds her at night, they start to get lazy. And I'm not going to say it's all women. Maybe it's just the ones I'm coming across.
Oh.
But when my ex first got together, she was cooking every day, cleaning every day. And then me looking at that situation now, I've seen it slowly decrease to the point where it was like, oh, well, you're not helping with the house. Okay, so I called in the housekeeping service. I'm at work. I'm still doing this. Okay, well, now you're not cooking. Well, I was never doing this in the beginning. So I've stuck my part the entire ride. You're the one that's actually slacking off.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with him on certain levels, but differently only because I had a different situation. I don't have anything like truly negative to say about my ex-wife, for the simple fact that I learned a lot about myself in my previous marriage. It taught me more about myself in the time that I was married than I probably learned the entire time before I was married. About what I needed and what I needed to be as a father, as a husband, as a man. And I've grown enough to see, and not that I didn't know then, but I've grown enough to see like my downfall in the marriage, where I contributed to what it was and why it ain't, and all those other things. And not to say that I wish it was again. No, it's like I feel like that opened it up for the person that I have now, which is my wife. That, you know, I do understand what he's saying, because some women think they want to be married, but when you give them the job description, they don't got the qualifications, or they don't want to do the work. Actually, that's what it's more of. They don't want to do the work involved with being married, because being married is get up Monday through Sunday and work. And I'm not saying you going to work, but marriage is work. And I'm not to say that the work ain't fun, because you can have a job that you love, and sometimes you have a job you love and you still don't want to go. Marriage is the same thing. You can love your wife, and some days you just don't want to do the work of being married. But if you truly love her, work is that commitment that comes, that comes with it, versus just, I'm gonna call in sick from love today. You can't. Like, you got to do the work. You know what I mean? And some people just don't want to do the work. They want all the stuff to come with the work. The vacations and the ring and the car and the house and the kids and
Did you say vacations?
Vacation. Why not?
Oh, the vacations.
All that. They want all that stuff, but they don't want to do all the work.
Darnell know all about those vacations.
Ooh, boy. You hit it. Hold up. I'm going to shout after that one. You hit the nail on the head that vacations. Because they love the trips. They love the elaborate honeymoon suites and the limos from the airport and the big suites in Vegas. Then you get home and they don't want to do nothing. The shopping sprees and Michael Kors. Who man?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I only got one kid, so I'm hey.
I wish I had one kid money. I'll keep the kids. Can I get one kid money?
Yeah, I know all about them. And again, it's just the fact of being honest. Don't change who you are. Because I'll text you in a heartbeat. For those that don't know, she's kind of related. And I'll text her every now and then and say, hey, don't have me stab you. Like, where have you been?
Who's getting stabbed?
Huh?
Who's getting stabbed? What happened?
Sherry knows when she doesn't call and check in.
You don't get stabbed. Okay.
It's because he is very overprotective for the people that he loves. Mm-hmm. And although we're family, yes, if I don't answer the phone after a couple of calls, he's going to pop up from another state because he want to make sure that I'm okay. Like, I get that. So when I meet women in his life, I kind of try to feel them out because I know what kind of person he is. Yeah. So I know what kind of person he is. And sometimes he may think she's the one, but 5 minutes in, I'd be like, yeah, you might want to cut her off. Like, she ain't it. Because you can see a person better from the inside, from the outside looking in, right? So for him, I'm from the outside looking in. And I'm like, you might want to change your mind on this one. So yeah, he is right. He's a certain way about the women in his life, whether you family, girlfriend, side chick, something to do on the weekends, whatever.
I think men are very perceptive that way, honestly. I think women don't give us enough credit for that, though. Y'all love the women intuition, and I know this and I know that because I'm a woman, but y'all forget niggas got gut feelings too, and it's the same thing. And I can honestly say that when I've told somebody you might want to leave her alone, whether it be male or female, or whether it be like a relationship or even just a friend, I can say I've only been wrong once in the, let's say, 20 years that I've been telling people that. One time, and nobody will like really admit to it until like years later, like, that go, like, yeah, well,
I should have listened.
And listen, I get it because I ain't listen. I get it. We are perceptive outside. Inside, like when we are the person that's being told, we don't listen as much because we men and we think we know everything. But that's okay because 9 times out of 10 we do.
But that goes back to what would you tell your younger self? Because if you knew better, you do better.
Mm-hmm.
So it all comes with experience.
I'm also going to say that women's intuition don't always work. It really depends on the woman.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it also really depends on what she's been through in her life. And that's the same for male. I'm not even going to say the women's intuition, but everyone's gut feeling has something to do with what they experienced in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because my ex kept telling me, you're cheating on me, you're cheating on me, you're cheating on me. And I kept asking her the same thing. I said, listen, we go to a club and we have sex with women together. What need do I have to cheat?
Very true. If I'm doing this with you out in the open, why I gotta hide?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's an insecurity thing. Mm-hmm. And for you, I will say that with these open relationships that you so fluently have, no shade because I love you, these women aren't really prepared for what it's going to take to have these relationships with you. So they go into it like, yeah, whatever you want, I'm all down for it until it's time to go down for it. And they don't want to share you with nobody else. They see how good the catch is and they don't want anyone else to get a taste of that. So you got to be mindful with those women because they may be good for the gusto, but they ain't good for the gander, as my mom would say.
But that also brings you back to like one of the initial things you said was, I can't change. I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I can't change for you at the beginning and then let you see that it gets better on down the line. Like, I have to be me.
And I don't feel like you're wrong in that. I think the women who come into a relationship such as yours, they have to be honest and transparent with themselves as far as what it is that they are willing to endure.
Like, and this is weird, but when I start relationships, I ask you 3 questions. And these are very, very funny questions. What does your house look like? What are you cooking for dinner? Are you bisexual? And send me a naked picture.
So you want naked picture? Are you
gotta
bisexual?
Be bi.
Wait, what? Are you bisexual? What does your house look like? Are you cooking? And send me a naked picture. Those are your 3 opening requirements.
Correct. Now, the reason why those are requirements are, of course, you're bi. I have a woman. So you have to be in complete understanding and that this is not just me and you.
I mean, it's up front. It's up front. Yeah.
I also need to know what your house looks like. Because if your house is trash today, I hate when girls post pictures with filters and makeup and all that. I want to see you in a scarf. I want to see what I'm going to wake up to, not what I'm going to sleep to.
Hear that, ladies? He want to see you in a scarf, bonnet, and all.
Yeah.
Men don't like filters. Men don't like filters. It's like being lied to virtually.
Yeah, makeup is a whole lot.
You want to see what you're getting.
Yeah.
Take the waist trainer.
Waist
take
trainer.
all that off. Let me see if you got a bush. because you didn't shave, because you didn't expect you were getting nothing. I want to see you for who you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's there it goes. Honesty, being genuine.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there. I think we feel good about that question. I think we've covered it thoroughly. Whose
Jack
turn?
Daniels is nice.
Huh?
Jack Daniels is nice.
Oh, goodness.
So how about that tea, ladies? Those men gave it to us sweet with a slice of lemon.
That's part one for you. We're going to bring you the rest. So tune in next week.
Stay tuned.
You've been listening to From Her Point of View, the show curated specifically for women by women, covering a wide range of topics. Though this is From Her Point of View, we want your point of view too. Become a part of the show. Questions, comments, and feedback are welcome through Instagram and Facebook, where we post regularly. Email us at fromherpointofviewllc@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail at 443-507-8032. Tune in weekly, and please share with your family and friends, as we can be found on your favorite platforms: Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Thank you for listening to From Her Point of View.